Oh, snap. Back live on Rumble, on YouTube. Shout out to TikTok. We've been live over here as well. So come follow the Haunted Side over on TikTok in case you haven't already. But we're going to keep right along, y'all. If you like true crime, you already know, hit the follow button. Especially you guys on TikTok, almost 400 people watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all the things. I appreciate it, y'all. TikTok, I know I have to do it again because we just went live again. But this one is crazy. This is Anna Knezevich? No, Knezevich. That's how you say it. Knezevich. The lady who went missing when she went to Spain. You guys remember this one? We talked about this one on TikTok too. I remember it. Well, apparently her husband is refusing to take a lie detector test. So let's check this out. Let's see what's going on here. You guys ready for this one? Thumbs up in the chat. We can't see you on Rumble. It takes a few minutes or like 30 seconds, sometimes a minute or two for Rumble to start. And if you don't see it, just hit refresh on Rumble and you'll see it. It's coming up. Oh, wait, hold on. It might actually not be right now. Oh, I got to remember to do that. Okay, we should be live on Rumble now. Sorry about that, guys. We haven't started the case yet, so you haven't missed anything. Sorry about that. I forgot to select Rumble as being the things that you have to do. I have 1,000 things going on, and I came in to ask. Oh, thank you, Kim. You're so sweet. Y'all put some hearts in the chat for Kim. She's so sweet. Appreciate that. Okay, we should be live on Rumble. Rumble, give me the thumbs up. And let's start this case. Here we go. You guys ready for this one? Let's go. YouTube did start. Yep.
People just don't stay disappeared on their own for this long.
An American woman vanishes without a trace while traveling overseas. The only clue of her whereabouts, mysterious text messages that don't add up.
I feel like I'm living in a dream, like I'm in a nightmare. It's the worst crisis of my life.
And now her estranged husband reportedly refuses to take a polygraph.
Well, the polygraph is very, very subjective. The problem for him is the optics of not taking it is terrible.
So
That's
here's
what I was
everything we
saying.
know so far about the disappearance of...
That's what I was saying. Even though they're not reliable and you can't use them in court, just the fact that he's refusing to take it doesn't look good. Looks a little sus. Wait a second.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
40-year-old Anna Knezevich.
The bottom line is still the same, and that is that she's still missing and we don't know what has happened to her.
We first told you about Anna back in February when we spoke to her best friend, Sana Ramo.
That we miss her and that we love her and that we just want her back safe and that we're thinking about her every minute of the day.
Anna was last seen on February 2nd in Madrid, Spain. She's originally from Colombia, but is an American citizen who lived and worked in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She was in the midst of a divorce at the time of her disappearance and had temporarily moved to Europe. The last time she was seen was by a neighbor at the apartment she was renting in Madrid. She spoke to a friend on the phone at about 10 o'clock that night and hasn't been heard from since. It was the next day, February 3rd, that her best friend Sana received a series of strange texts. She shared the messages with Law&Crime. They read in part, quote, "I met someone wonderful. He has a summer house about 2 hours from Madrid. We're going there now and I will spend a few days there. Signal is spotty. I'll call you when I get back."
Quite live. Thanks for the follow. Y'all, if you're new on TikTok, hit that follow button. Hit me with the donuts too. And let's get 50,000 likes. We're getting close, y'all. Almost 50,000 likes. This part was crazy because I remember reading these text messages and going, okay, but this same friend actually talked to her the night before and she never mentioned meeting someone. And she was like, if she had met someone, she 100% would have been telling me about it on the phone the previous night. But all of a sudden, the next day, she just gets this, I met someone wonderful. He has a summer house 2 hours from Madrid. We're going there now. And she was like, it doesn't even sound like her. Like, that's not how she talks. Kim, thanks for the good nights. Kim, thank you so much. Caitlin, try closing the app completely and going back in on Rumble. Because I'm watching, I've got the stream up and it looks good on my end. Y'all, thumbs up on Rumble if you can see everything.
Sana told me that doesn't add up.
she wouldn't meet a man in the street and say that she's going to go away for a few days. Like that's not Anna. That is definitely not my friend. Secondly, logistically, it didn't even make sense because she had those plans to go to Barcelona early Monday morning. So she would not leave Madrid Saturday afternoon and state that she will be away for several days when she has already made plans to go to Barcelona Monday morning. Like that didn't even make sense. So all of these things got me concerned immediately.
I asked retired FBI agent Colin
That
Schmidt
part.
about this too. Now, I spoke with her friend who she texted, and her friend Sana actually told me this is so out of character. This is not something that Anna would do. Are those texts mysterious or suspicious to you?
Well, absolutely. So there might be that the person who, if she was abducted, the person who abducted her might be the one who's making those
Making
texts.
the text message.
Sana told me the wording of the texts doesn't sound like something Anna would type.
She
That
doesn't
part.
do those things. It was worded very differently than how she writes.
It's the same story from Anna's family. They didn't want to speak on camera, but shared a screenshot of the message with us. Anna traditionally speaks Spanish, so especially with her brother, she would text him in Spanish. And something that her brother said stood out. It appeared it wasn't really in Anna's dialect, almost as if somebody had taken a message in one language, put it through Google Translate in Spanish, and copy and paste it. Is that something that investigators would take into consideration?
Absolutely. And then
Yeah.
that also lends a lot of helpfulness, so to speak, to the person who may have abducted her had her phone. That means wherever the phone is where that person is. And they're going to go right back into and see if they can get the GPS coordinates. So generally speaking, that person has a phone, but there is a way of going through Apple or Samsung to, if the phone is uploaded into the cloud, is get all those GPS coordinates and go ahead and use those to kind of backtrack and create that timeline that I already talked about.
Colin says the early days of the investigation probably had one major focus.
Well, early on, it's phones. We talk about that I think every time we get on a call, that's the first thing they're going to do is download that phone, the GPS history to see where the phone was. That doesn't necessarily mean she was there with the phone, but at least know where the phone is. Then, of course, they're going to expand and talk to everybody and anybody that might know her or she had an action with. And then the most important thing in these cases is the timeline. Is basically they'll put together a timeline from the last time she was seen throughout for the next 24, 48, or 72 hours to see if they can find a clue to see who may or may not know where she's at.
Does it make things more complicated that this is an American citizen who went missing overseas in Spain?
In terms of the Spanish authorities, I'm sure they're looking into it. And then the FBI does have jurisdiction over all U.S. citizens internationally to assist law enforcement. The Spanish authorities still have primary authority or jurisdiction to go ahead and do their investigation, but I'm sure the American embassy is involved, as well as the FBI agents that are assigned to the American embassy.
On February 4th, the fire department responded to a wellness check at Anna's apartment in Madrid, but there was no sign of her.
She was not in her home, and the door was locked from the outside. There were no obvious signs of violence or anything that happened inside of the apartment, but the mission of the fire department was to just check if there was an injured person. They don't do any investigation for more than that, and they just looked and then they left.
There were no signs of foul play. So what does that mean in terms of the investigation? Could it lend itself to the idea that Anna may have just left on her own accord?
Well, that, and if she was abducted, she was already out and about, and she was probably with somebody that she knew or had some sort of minimum relationship with. So in other words, nobody went to grab her out of her place. They may have lured her out if she was indeed abducted. So the fact that there's nothing going on or no foul play inside the apartment doesn't necessarily mean that she was not abducted. That just would show that it just didn't happen there.
But there's more. Right around the time Anna was last seen in her apartment in Madrid, someone was seen with a helmet on, and they went and spray painted security cameras that were around her apartment. Could
Yeah.
that at all be related to her disappearance?
There's no coincidences in law enforcement, so certainly that's got to factor in on what's going on, and that is so unusual that it's almost has to be connected to this. Because why else would somebody do something like that unless they were going to do something that was,
That they didn't want people to see because they spray painted it? Exactly. Y'all, YouTube and Rumble, hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button, YouTube and Rumble. And TikTok, hit the follow button if you're new here. My name's Patrick. If you like true crime, I'm live every single night. In fact, right now we're live on YouTube, Rumble, and TikTok. So if you want to actually see the videos that we're watching, y'all, you can pop over to YouTube or Rumble. Just type in The Mystery Project, search for The Mystery Project. And that's how you're going to find it. Come over and hang out. The chats are open in both of those two, and you can see the videos that we're watching. You get to put eyeballs on the videos. TikTok doesn't let me do that. Also, y'all, hit me with on TikTok, hit me with the little donut things. We're trying to get 111. We're at 30, so we got a ways to go. Plus, everybody tap the screen like crazy, and let's get 50,000 likes. Let's do it, y'all. Ron, aren't you the overseer? Yup, I miss watching Patrick. Corey, welcome back in. Good to see you. Long time no see. Tony T, thanks for the heart me's too. Patrick, can you explain Galaxy Gang? Yes, if you send on TikTok, if you send the Galaxy gift, that's called the Galaxy Gang. So get a little Galaxy action.
Get out of my attic!
Somebody show them how it's done. Somebody show them how it's done. Galaxy Gang, where y'all at? All right, here we go. Let's go.
illegal or harm somebody else.
All this brings us to Anna's estranged husband, David Knezevich. Another aspect of this case is that Anna was going through a contentious divorce at the time. And I know it's something that people always say. It's always the husband, but I know that oftentimes the significant other is usually a person that investigators go to for more information and even potentially a suspect. So is her estranged husband someone that investigators would look at right away?
Absolutely. I mean, once again, statistically, it's like 90% of murders are done by somebody that knows the other person. So they have to eliminate him as a suspect right off the bat. So that would be certainly the first person they would talk to find out what he knows, where he's been, who, what, where, when, why, and how. And then certainly try to understand if he has any information or helpful leads on where she could be.
When I spoke to Sana back in February, she said she'd been in contact with David.
Well, I've been in contact with him. I was in contact with him throughout the week, last week. I believe the last time I spoke to him was on Saturday. Police did speak to him in Madrid. I went to Madrid on February 8th. And next day on the 9th, when I went to the police station, they did, I contacted him from there. And the day he called back and they made contact with him to ask about his whereabouts.
And he has no idea where Anna may be?
He says he has no idea. No, he doesn't know where Anna is.
But now there are reports that David is refusing to take a polygraph test. He's obtained a lawyer and says that he's being cooperative with investigators, both the FBI and Spanish police, but then refuses to take a polygraph. What do you make of that?
Well, the polygraph is very, very subjective. The problem for him is the optics of not taking it is terrible.
Right.
The usefulness of the polygraph a lot of times comes down to the polygrapher that's actually giving the test and how experienced they are.
Polygrapher? That's what the polygraph tester is? Polygrapher. Word of the day, y'all. That's a new one. I've never heard of that. Polygrapher.
And ultimately, people must understand that a polygraph isn't necessarily to show truth or lies. It's also to get somebody to tell the truth, is to use that as leverage for them to open up and tell the whole story.
Another thing I've seen in multiple articles about this is that back in the United States, Anna and her husband lived in Florida. Now, obviously, this happened overseas, but in Florida, polygraph results are allowed to be used in court. Is that something that could factor in here, or does that even matter at all because the alleged crime, we don't even know if there is a crime, happened overseas?
Well, it comes down to the crime exactly happened overseas. However, I'm sure he's got some legal representation that's telling him don't sit for a polygraph and don't willingly sit down with any investigator unless you have a lawyer present so they could protect him from any incriminating questions, because what he doesn't want to do is kind of get himself caught in the soup, so to speak, and then have to crawl out of it because of something he says that makes them go down a rabbit hole. Eventually he would be exonerated, but I'm sure he just doesn't want to go through that. He just wants to be eliminated as a suspect and then move on with his life.
But there are still unanswered questions about David. About the husband, there are also conflicting reports about where he was when Ana was last seen. So she was in Spain. Some reports
Oh, damn.
say that he was in Serbia. Other reports say that he was in Florida. They lived in Fort Lauderdale. Does it really matter where he was at the time of her abduction?
Absolutely. That's his alibi. So he's going to have to prove that, unfortunately, to the investigators, whether it show by, once again, his phone, or he's got a person or a family member or a friend that can say, no, he was here when this happened.
So where does the investigation go?
Love, thanks for the follow. Y'all follow on TikTok if you're new here. My name's Patrick. If you like true crime, I'm live every single night.
From here?
And somebody said recap. Basically, y'all, she went missing. Ana went missing. She went over to Spain. I guess her and her husband were getting a divorce, or they were getting a divorce. And so she went to Spain, and she just like vanished. Weird text messages to the friend, her friends, weird text messages to her family that didn't sound like her. And there was a guy that like was seen in her apartment with a helmet, like a motorcycle helmet on, spray painting the security cameras the night that she went missing. So craziness. But her husband, I guess supposedly he was in Florida, where she was at, where they were together at, and but he's refusing to take a polygraph. Let's keep going.
Here, several months out from the last time Ana was seen, what do you think the investigation looks like right now as far as the Spanish authorities and then the FBI?
Well, the trail is very cold, unfortunately. They have to, to close these cases. A lot of times you have to jump on it, so to speak, when it happens. The second step is the agents that are assigned to the embassy. They'll be working with the local authorities, but the local authorities will take the lead, and they'll continue to follow up on leads, follow up on phone calls and tips that people are sending in, and then hope something breaks, so to speak, so they can find out where or who or what happened.
What do you think happened in this case? That Ana left on her own, or something more nefarious happened?
Based upon the things that you're telling me, it sounds like that she was abducted. It sounds like that, people just don't stay disappeared on their own for this long. They usually turn up after, a couple of weeks, if they're having some stress in their lives. So for her to be disappeared for this long, that's telling me that there was something nefarious that likely happened, and it's going to be a trail that the law enforcement has to follow for some time.
Is it possible that she is still alive?
Well, if it's been this long and she hasn't turned up, statistically speaking, it's unlikely.
Oh, Tammy, thanks for the donuts. Y'all hit me with the donuts on TikTok. Bonnie, yeah, I see what you're saying. And y'all come over on YouTube and Rumble if you want to see what Bonnie's talking about. And Jeep Angel, thank you. Don't forget to quickly exit the live chat for a moment to like the video, then jump back in the chat again. That's right, y'all. Hit the likes. Hit the like button on YouTube and Rumble. And TikTok, I'm telling you, if you guys want to see the videos we're watching, come on over. YouTube, it's The Mystery Project. And Rumble, it's also The Mystery Project. All right, let's keep going, y'all. Hit the follow button, too. And hit me with those donuts, y'all. We're trying to get 111. We're at 32. We can get it.
That she's still alive. Anything's possible. I mean, she could have basically wanted to disappear, so to speak, on her own and not wanted to be found. But generally speaking, the statistics show that if somebody's not turning up, I think within 72 hours, the probability of them being missing or deceased is very, very high.
We reached out to Sana for this story and have not heard back, but she did recently post an investigation update on her social media.
I haven't posted anything because I don't have any new information to give. Ana's brother is in contact with FBI, daily, and the investigation is still very active. But the little information that we do have, we can't talk about. But the bottom line is still the same. and that is that she's still missing, and we don't know what has happened to her. I think about her every day. She's always she's always with me. I miss her so much, and we are just
Lucy Lou, new mic. So this is the mic for Rumble and YouTube. Yeah. So I usually don't use it for TikTok because I can't use this mic and charge my phone at the same time, because my phone is what I stream all the TikToks on. And it would just probably blow up in the middle of a live stream if I tried to use this mic. The battery would just go. We get about 15 to 20-minute lives.
trying to be patient, trying to be strong. It's hard, but again, I will post something when I have any relevant information to share.
We also reached out to David Knezevich's attorney, Ken Padowitz, for this story, but have not yet heard back. When he spoke to News Nation, Padowitz said David has not been absent from the investigation. He said David has, quote, spoken to the police a number of times. I've reached out to the FBI and let them know that we are available to aid in any way. He's given police information on credit cards, attempted to hire a lawyer in Spain. Right now, Anna Knezevich's disappearance is still under investigation. If you have any information about her whereabouts, contact the Madrid Police Department or the FBI. Reporting for Law&Crime, I'm Sierra Gillespie.
Oh, snap. I don't know. What do y'all think? Is the husband totally innocent? Most of the time, no. But in this instance, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know. It's a crazy story, y'all. It's a crazy story. And where did she go? She has to be somewhere, right? She got to be somewhere. Where do they go, y'all? Where do these people go? Oh, man. Okay. TikTok, stay right where you're at, but keep tapping the screen like crazy. Hit the follow button and hit me with the donuts, y'all. Come on. We got to hit that so TikTok will keep spreading the word about the live stream. YouTube and Rumble, I'm going to end this video so that we can set up the next one. So don't worry, YouTube, you should just be automatically redirected to the new one. And Rumble, well, you already know Rumble won't let me make more than one live stream at a time, so I have to end that one and then create another one. So give me about 5 minutes and the new Rumble room will be open. So I'm going to end this one real quick, y'all. I'll see you on the next stream.